Welcome back to another conference tournament prediction video. Today we are doing the Big Ten, and while this conference may not have as many top dogs as in recent years, this conference is one of the deepest, probably besides the SEC, definitely the second best conference in college basketball this season. And this conference, I believe, is really wide open. I think over like 6, maybe 7, 8 teams even can win this conference tournament, and we're probably looking at 9 to 10 tournament teams here as well. So there's a lot to talk about, a lot to cover in this conference tournament. Make sure you subscribe if you are new and check out our previous conference tournament videos. This is our last big conference to do. We are doing the Big West later today and then the Ivy League tomorrow, but that is it. So this is our 29th conference tournament video. Make sure you check out our previous ones when you're done watching this one. But starting off, just wanted to say, Nebraska, what a fall off. I mean, they went from a bubble team to now virtually having no chance. They missed the tournament because there was a crazy, tie with all the records. I mean, it was just a ridiculous amount of teams. It was Rutgers, Minnesota, Northwestern, USC, or not even Rutgers, sorry. Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa, Minnesota, and USC. So you see everyone from 12 to 14 or 12 to 15, all tied. I guess you could throw in Nebraska too, 12 to 16. Nebraska got the short end of the stick. I actually think Nebraska is better than Minnesota, Northwestern, Iowa for sure, USC probably as well. I think Nebraska is probably the 11th best team in this conference, but they ended up missing out on the tournament because of a crazy tiebreaker. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the predictions, though. I know I'm making you guys wait a little bit. Just wanted to touch on that. Minnesota versus Northwestern. Now, Minnesota actually has a very good quad one record. I think they have close to a 500 quad one record, which is ridiculous. I mean, this team really isn't that good. They're, I believe, second lowest ranked team in Torvik in this conference. Against teams that are equal to them or worse than them, they really struggle. I think Northwestern is pretty equal to them, and I actually like Northwestern. I think they're a solid team. They take care of the ball. They have a really good turnover margin, and they have a top 50 defense, top 65 offense. I think they're a complete team. Going into this tournament, Northwestern was one of my sleepers, so I'm going to stick with that. I think Northwestern, they've won 3 of their last 5. They just played UCLA pretty close as well in a loss. I feel like they've been playing much better as of recently. I'll take them. And they did just beat Minnesota at Minnesota by 12. Now, Ohio State versus Iowa. Now, the thing about Ohio State, I'm an Ohio State fan for those of you who don't know. The thing about them is, yes, their predictive metrics, KenPom, Torvik, are very high, but they're 17 and 14. They're probably, if they do get into the tournament, they will likely have 15 losses, which is ridiculous. But the bubble is so bad this season. I think with a win over Iowa, that pretty much should put them in. I mean, maybe they have to beat Illinois as well. I do think they beat Iowa. I think it could be close. Iowa's never an easy team to beat. I mean, no matter what, they're just, it's just how they are. They're always going to have a great offense, and that this year is no different. Top 25 offense. But Ohio State is inside of the top 40 in Torvik. They have a top 35 offense, top 60 defense. I don't know. I just think this team's experienced enough, and they shoot threes at a ridiculous clip sometimes. So I like Ohio State. Rutgers versus USC. Eric Musselman in his first season at USC. I don't know about that. Rutgers has 2 NBA prospects on their team, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. I'm sure all of you know that. Those are 2 great players. I think them alone get it done here, and they both go crazy in this one. I don't see USC really doing much in this conference tournament. Oregon, Indiana. This is a very, very intriguing game. Indiana, as of late, has made a name for themselves. They have brought themselves back into tournament discussion. They've won 6 of their last 8, including wins over Ohio State. That was a huge win for them, both bubble teams. A win over Purdue, a win at Michigan State. The only losses in there are a close loss to UCLA and a pretty close loss as well at Oregon, who are 2 tournament teams. In the regular season, they only played once. Oregon did win, and it was very recent. So they're going to get each other again. I do like Oregon to win, though. I mean, they're just always so strong in March. And for those of you who have watched my channel this season, I've actually, when Oregon was in the top 15, I was lower on them than most. I feel like now I'm starting to come like all the way back. I feel like they're getting underrated. They're top 50 in both offense and defense. Obviously, we know what their coach can do in the tournament. I mean, he is one of the best when it comes to tournament consistency. They always tend to make a run, and they're a well-rounded team, and I think they could very well do that again. So I like them over Indiana. I just think they're the more complete, talented team here. Wisconsin versus Northwestern. I do like Northwestern. I think they could be a fun little sleeper, make some noise. But I think Wisconsin with John Tonje is a little bit too much. They are a top 15 Torvik team. I think the same is true for Ken Palm. They take care of the ball. They have a great offense. I think they get through. Illinois, Ohio State. As an Ohio State fan, I'm gonna be honest. This team's really just not good. A lot of the transfers coming in have been pretty disappointing. Bruce Thornton's been good. Devin Royal's been good, but I don't know. I think Illinois in this team, it's a young team, but I think they're really solid, and I think their record doesn't show how good they really are. They're 20-11, but they're 18th in Torvik, top 15 offense in the country. Kasparas Yakachonis is one of the best freshmen in the country. I think Illinois gets it done. I just think they're clearly the better team, to be honest. They do turn it over a lot, but that's partially because they play at such a fast pace. I think they shoot a lot of threes, and if they hit them, I mean, they're really tough to beat. I don't know. I really like this team. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the country as well. And I believe I'm not sure if they played Ohio State twice. I think they only played once. And I know they did win against Ohio State. I'm pretty sure they only played once, though. Yeah, Illinois did win. I think they win again. And then Purdue versus Rutgers. I actually think this game could be kind of close. I think Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper are two phenomenal players. But I think Purdue is just too experienced to lose this one. Trey Kaufman-Renn, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer. This is a great team once again. Braden Smith is maybe the best guard in the country. I mean, that dude is ridiculous. He's averaging like 12 assists. And the same goes for Trey Kaufman-Renn. He's averaging like 18 or 19 points. I mean, this Purdue team's experienced. I like this Purdue team. I think they get past Rutgers here. But now we're into the quarterfinals. And I'm going to be honest, I think, as crazy as it is to say, I can really see a path where all 8 of these teams win. And I know you may think, you don't really think Illinois, you don't really think Oregon can win. Well, I would argue I do. I mean, Oregon coaching-wise is so strong. Illinois has shown flashes to be an amazing team, and Purdue is so experienced, and we know what they can do here. And then I think that goes without saying the top 5 teams are all capable of winning just because of their seeding and how consistent they've been this season. But let's start at the top. Michigan State versus Oregon, 2 great coaches. This is a great matchup in the quarterfinals. I think this will be a very close game as well. I do think Michigan State wins. I just think as of recently, they have been lights out. I mean, they went from being tied with Michigan for the top of this conference for like a month straight to winning this conference outright by 3 games. I mean, they have been electric recently. 7 wins in a row, including wins. A dominant win over Purdue, a dominant win at Michigan, a close win at Maryland, and a convincing win home against Wisconsin. Not to mention a dominant win to close out the season again against Michigan. Jace Richardson has absolutely blossomed in the last month or so. This team, defensively, they're amazing, and you can never, you just can't doubt Tom Izzo. I don't think they lose first round. I do worry about their shooting. That's a huge red flag for me. But I think against Oregon they will be fine. UCLA versus Wisconsin. These are 2 really good teams, very evenly matched as well. I mean, UCLA 27th in offense, 16th in defense, compared to Wisconsin 12th in offense, 35th in defense. So a little bit contrasting there. Wisconsin does turn it over a lot, which I think does worry me because UCLA does not turn it over. This is a fast-paced team versus a slow-paced team. The only thing about UCLA, their 3-point defense, not very strong. Wisconsin is a really strong 3-point shooting team. John Tonje, I think I mentioned him already, but he is one of the best players in the country. I like Wisconsin. I think they force turnovers a good amount as well. I know UCLA, I just said, takes care of the ball, but they should be able to force some. I think Wisconsin gets it done. I just like their offense. In the regular season series, I want to say UCLA won. Yeah, UCLA won 85-83 at home. 2-point win at home. It's hard to beat a good team twice. I like Wisconsin to get their revenge. Maryland versus Illinois. I was really, really back and forth on this one. I didn't know who I wanted to go with. I will take Maryland. Now, Maryland, and, kind of similar thing with Oregon. I've been high on Maryland all season, but I feel like I'm kind of starting to not like them as much anymore just because everyone else is liking them. Because, their depth is obviously an issue, but they shoot the three so well. They play at such a great pace. They have a top 10 defense and they're top 15 in Torvik. One of the best turnover margins in the Big Ten. They take care of the ball. They have a great starting lineup. Again, besides that, it's a little rough. And Derek Queen is one of the best freshmen, one of the best big men in the country. He has been absolutely ridiculous. And I think Illinois, young team, so is Maryland. Their best players are freshmen. The only thing I worry about with Illinois is this will be a faster paced game. Surprisingly, even though Maryland has a top 10 defense, Illinois turns the ball over a whole lot. Maryland forces a lot of turnovers as well as takes care of the ball. That's really the big thing for me. I really wanted to go Illinois here. I really thought I was going to do it. I switched back to Maryland at the last second. Maryland has also been so consistently good as of recently. They've won 7 of their last 8. Now, they haven't played too much good teams in this stretch, but I will say they maybe should have beat Michigan State in there, who has been lights out. So I'll give the slight edge to Maryland, but I could see this one going either way. And then Michigan versus Purdue, I'm going to be honest, I really don't like Michigan. They just turn the ball. Their turnover ratio is so bad. They turn the ball over and they don't force a lot as well. They don't really shoot very well from 3. They have 2 really good big men, so the paint is always secure. You know they're going to rebound well. But I like Purdue. I think Braden Smith can kind of carve open this defense a little bit. Trey Kaufman-Renn, I think, will be able to get going. Michigan just doesn't really have the guard play. I don't like their turnovers. It's just not a good recipe, to be honest, to succeed in March. Not great guard play, turnovers. It's still Dusty May's first year in the Big Ten. I know he's been amazing this season, and they're the 3 seed, and I should pick them. But I think Purdue gets some momentum from the Rutgers win, and I think they do end up going out and beating Michigan and moving on. Michigan State versus Wisconsin. We've seen this matchup, I believe, twice in the regular season, and I'm pretty sure Michigan State. No, they only played once, but Michigan State did win, 71-62. That was about 2 weeks ago. I think Michigan State goes out and beats them again. This team is Jace Richard. Early in the season, I was like, this team can be really good, but they don't have their 1A guy. Well, now they have it. Jace Richardson has become that dude. This is still a deep team. It's a ridiculously. This team, watching them play, they are just so good, and they're playing their best right now. I think Wisconsin could beat them. I think they very well could. They have a top 15 offense in the country, and again, I still worry Michigan State just because they don't shoot the 3 very well. That's their big defense. They remind me a lot of St. John's, but I feel a little bit better about them than St. John's. I like them over Wisconsin, though. Could I see Wisconsin winning? For sure. John Tonje is one of the best players in the country, but I think they turn the ball over a little bit too much, and I think, with that being said, Tom Izzo, he's still one of the best coaches in the country. And then Maryland versus Purdue. So believe it or not, I do like Purdue to kind of make a little bit of a run as the 6th seed. I've been saying this all season, but I feel like the teams I trust the most have been Michigan State and Purdue all season long. If you told me who would make a run, and I know Purdue's not really known for that without Zach Edey, but they've done it with Carson Edwards, and last year they made the title game. Matt Painter's a good coach. He's a really good coach. I just think Maryland depth-wise is just a little rough. I think Purdue's experience, I think they get it done here and move on to the championship game. But as I was saying, if you had to tell me who, besides Michigan State, who do I trust most to get here, maybe you could argue Maryland because they've been so consistent, maybe Wisconsin, but I feel like Purdue is the answer. So I will take them to the championship game to take on the 1 seed Michigan State. But it is just so hard to go against Michigan State right now. Like I said, they've won 7 in a row, and they've played Michigan twice in that stretch. They went at Maryland and then they handled Purdue and Wisconsin at home. They've recently played all the good teams in this conference and have won all of them. This Michigan State team is legit. I'm telling you, Tom Izzo, he knows what he's doing. Obviously, top 10 defense in the country, top 6 defense in the country, and a top 40 defense. Or sorry, top 6 defense, top 40 offense. Purdue, although I will say, Michigan 12th in Torvik, Purdue is 13th. Like, they are right there. They have the 7th best offense compared to the 51st best defense. I think Michigan State's a little bit more well-rounded. Again, I'd worry about the threes. That could hurt them a bit. But Purdue, they over the season they've let teams against them shoot a lot of threes, and I would probably expect them to do the same against Michigan State, to be honest, just because they're not great at it. But with that being said, I think Michigan State is just playing the best right now. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the country as well. They hustle, and they are ridiculous. I think winning the Big Ten, if some things go right, they could end up as a 1 seed. Probably not. I think they'll probably get a high 2 seed, but this Michigan State team is once again very dangerous. I like them to win the Big Ten, but let me know what you have in the comments down below, who you have in the championship game, who are your sleepers, who are your dark horses. Just love to talk down there, and yeah, I really think there's like 8 teams that could make the championship game. I'm going to be honest. I truly believe that. But that is going to do it for the Big Ten. Make sure you check out all of our previous ones. We've done all the power conferences, all the big ones. The only ones we have left are the Big West, which is coming later today, and the Ivy League, which is coming tomorrow. So, by tomorrow we'll have all 31 conference tournament videos out. Make sure you check those out. Subscribe if you are new. We do not only college basketball, we do college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB when those seasons are going. So yeah, it's a great time to be a part of the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. Make sure you go down there, subscribe, turn on the noties. But with that being said, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching this one. And yeah, make sure you check out our previous videos.